In my neighborhood, you stood up or you got beat down. So I stood up. I ran with an ugly crowd, learned how to fight, how to shoot. I paid for it too. I took the hits so my family wouldn't have to. Mom always said we escaped Dad when we left him back in Belfast. He only wanted peace for us, and he was always fighting something. She saw that fire in me too. She said her sweet little boy was gone. I turned into Dad. That should have stung, but it didn't. I was proud to hear it. The first time I came close to getting caught was about 8 years ago. I had a trainer who started questioning me. He noticed my bruises, my stitches, and how I tried to work through broken ribs. He suspected I was fighting outside the gym, but he didn't know why. Would he have called the police? I couldn't risk it, so I dropped him. I needed to focus on my mental game anyway. I've been reading up on big cons, social engineering, psychology, intimidation tactics. I needed to be able to win a fight before it even began. I wasn't there yet, but I am now. Things are rough with Nikki. She wants me back in her life, but I'm not ready to face her. If she knew the truth, it would hurt her even more. So, I need to find another way to make sure she's safe. I dread the conversation if she ever finds my cameras. The news is calling it an accident. Wondering if the driver was drunk behind the wheel. I was not drunk. I did not fall asleep at the wheel, and frogs did not fall from the sky. Cops have the ballistics. Someone's covering up. I'm gonna find them. I hired a fixer to help me find the shooter. Jordy Chin. I was skeptical at first because the guy's eccentric. He's got a motor mouth. Insists I'm wearing a fancy suit to work. So far, he delivers. Help me dig up a name. Maurice Vega.
I was wowed by the whole Bloom vision at first, just like you. I bought into the whole marketing package, the betterment of life through hyperconnectivity and all that. Sure, they do that stuff. They are visionaries up at the top. Humanitarians. Bloom is helping to educate the underprivileged. They've gone green. They fund everything from social programs to medical research. These things are real. But you know whose desk I'm sitting in? Raymond fucking Kenny. And that'll wake you up real fast. So, since I'm the ghost of Ray Kenny, simply by desk location, I get to hear everybody's fucking Ray Kenny story. In one woman's case, it really was a fucking Ray Kenny story. And that's an ugly one. I about lost it the first couple of weeks until I realized something. Ray had it all figured out. With his hands in the guts of the CTOS, he began to see the real sinister potential of the thing he built. How do I know this? Because the ghost of Ray Kenny still haunts the data. He knew it would take another engineer to find it, somebody operating on the same level. Well, congrats to me. I guess that means I'm one of the smart ones. So here's my contribution to Ray's legacy. Apparently, you found me embedded in the system, just like I found him. Only I won't presume mine was as well hidden. It doesn't matter. I'm long gone anyway. I'm going to play you some of Ray's greatest hits, as well as some of my own. Maybe one day this will all come back to bite Bloom in the ass. Probably not. Here, I'll play you some Ray.
Inviting Bloom to build CTOS in your city is like inviting a fucking vampire over for dinner and handing him a goddamn straw.
So, what's Bloom doing with all our data? I may have sneaked a peek. Sorry. Charlotte and her PR brigade aren't totally lying about how they use it. They're speeding things up, making life more convenient. But the right hand doesn't know what the asshole is doing. Go ahead, listen.
Now the suits are already putting a price on the data they're collecting. They've been romancing advertisers and politicians. Shit. The mayor himself had a date with a couple of them last week. Now none of this comes as a surprise, so Why are they all hiding all this from the board of directors? Something else. Something I'm missing.
The bosses are talking about the long-term global CTOS potential, at least in the countries that can afford it. They say it with stars in their eyes. They mention world changers like Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham Bell. You almost want to believe them, but then you realize they could actually pull it off. Ray put it best.
Imagine every major city, American, European, Asian, whatever, is now the same city. Sharing instant surveillance, constantly feeding each other data about you. Now mix in the special ingredients, prediction algorithms, feedback loops, subliminal messaging. Christ. I helped them build this thing and I can stop it. This is so big they don't have all the pieces yet. I still have time to act.
I'm going to let Ray take this one.
I'm on the verge of my third strike now. So they've taken away a lot of my access. Prepping for my big meltdown, I guess. They've handed Rose a new task. They want to start work on a behavioral prediction system. She'll never do it. I worry that if they give it to Tobias, he'll actually pull it off. His OCD cannot resist a challenge. So if we're gonna burn this thing, we may have to implicate the poor bastard.
According to my coworkers, they sent security down to escort Ray out like some kind of criminal. He didn't even get to gather all his things. I still have one of his ugly sculptures on my desk. He kicked and screamed the whole way out, which gave Bloom all they needed to put an HR spin on it. I'll read it for you. We apologize for the disruption caused on Tuesday when we ended our contract with Raymond Kenny. As a reminder, your medical insurance covers psychiatric consultations. We wish Mr. Kenny a speedy recovery, and we must stress the continued importance of confidentiality to all Bloom employees. I'll do my best to Ray translation. Mr. Kenny was batshit crazy, and don't you dare repeat anything he said, or your ass is grass. Ray lashed out and took down the power to most of the Northeast. People panicked. People died. A lot of money was lost. He was making a point, demonstrating the dangers of relying on one system to keep everything running. Was it terrorism? I guess so. I mean, it's pretty much the definition, right? Rose Washington? She took a more traditional route in her whistleblowing and picked up a few headlines. But her proximity to Ray quickly discredited her. Tobias Frewer, I don't think anybody noticed him leave. He just wasn't there one day. Ray's still on the run, too. Is he a threat? Bloom seems to think so. Every so often, we get an email warning us to report any contact from former employees. But we all know which one they mean. I've been asked to pick up the reins on the prediction software. They call it Bellwether, and I suspect it's everything Ray Kenny feared. Just like Ray, I was asked to keep my work between me and a few specific managers. I could go higher up, I could out them, and maybe even stop this. But I want to play along a bit more. I want to see where this all is going. Something they can't deny when it goes public. I can't believe I'm actually considered whistleblowing. I hate the spotlight. I'm weighing other options. There's a hacker group that might be able to do something with this information. They call themselves DedSec. So, I've been working on my own hello world for the Bellwether to see if it's really as insidious as I suspect it is. Does the Fibonacci sequence mean anything to you? It's always been one of my favorites. I'm going to throw the Fibonacci numbers out there. Bellwether should predict where they can have the most subliminal influence, saturating the city within days. The CTOS will then monitor for impact. If I see instances of those numbers echo back throughout the city, everything I feared would be in motion. At that point, I'm sending proof to DedSec, and they can do whatever they do to make things right.
Still going? Okay. I'm gonna record my legacy, like my cousin Iraq always doing. I gotta have something to leave behind, just in case. You know. See, Iraq's got it all figured out. You know, got everybody figured out but me. And why is he always dogging me? And we're blood, we're family. I should be right up there by his side. I gotta find a way to show him that. Iraq's got the V's split into two groups. We're the ones out running this shit, and we only got two ways out. In a box or under locks. There's fans up there on the top floor. Oh, these motherfuckers, man. They got an escape plan. Yeah, they're keeping all the money and the secrets. I don't give a fuck about what happens to any of us. I need to get in on that. Now, who the fuck is this guy? Shit. I mean, he's not that club, don't do that. I mean, what was he, a cop? Oh, man, why would a cop go through all this trouble? Dude's gonna get me killed. And some of these videos? Yeah, but how did he get them? I mean, I never even saw him. I mean, dude must have been following me the whole time, but how? I mean, look, man, I gotta run. Like, I just gotta leave town, but I can't leave ground.
The predictive algorithm is a remarkable program. Yes, sir, but this is more than a standard bellwether model. It holds great potential. We've already seen it in action with the election. Beyond that, yes. Essentially, it's able to adapt, understand, and learn. I can see by your expressions you're as excited about this as I am. What this means, gentlemen, is that this algorithm is able to anticipate patterns. We've already run tests to see if we can influence those patterns. So far, we have success.
Naysayers, protesters, hacker groups, each one has its own agenda. Yes, the CTOS network has suffered attacks, but these are minor. Gentlemen, I can assure you, our system is robust. Our firewall protection is stronger. As you know, a number of security protocols have been implemented by our elite security team. I see you've all been equipped with your upgraded ID. I can assure you, these cyber attacks are not a viable threat to the CTOS network or Bloom's research. With our security team on it, I have great faith that we will have a breach-free network in the next month. Any and all issues have been dealt with and are currently being fixed. Tests consistently show us that citizens are attracted to the ease of use above all else. Bloom is about global family. Bloom is about ease of use. CTOS network is a positive in people's lives. Our research data shows they're willing to endure the occasional hiccup. The public will stay on our side, I assure you. My recommendation to the board of directors is that we continue as planned. It's time to roll out phase 2, gentlemen.